a huge crowd here tonight on Shohei Otani's 50-50 bobblehead night, and tonight is the 50 home run portion of that bobblehead. So hopefully for those fans who were here back in May to get the stolen base portion, they now have the complete set. So Jerry, we know something about Shohei Otani. He loves putting on a show when it comes to his bobblehead night. So we're going to take a look back at some of those memorable moments. Let's first start. August 28th of last year, it was the Shohei and Decoy bobblehead. Otani homered and had 2 stolen bases.
I love that Decoy able to run the ball, and it's a perfect strike. Outstanding job. Shohei was training Decoy leading up that first pitch, and of course, he goes big fly, 2 for 4 night, 3 runs scored as well, 2 stolen bases, and like his dog, he was running wild at Dodger Stadium.
And James, on April 2nd, it was the Shohei MVP bobblehead night, his first bobblehead night this season, and he hits a walk-off to beat the Braves.
I mean, of course he would, right? You get an off-speed pitch, diving away from you off the plate. I mean, that's just a grown man right there. That is just pure strength. I think he would tell you that's not the hardest hit ball he's hit all year, but that just shows you how good of a hitter he is. For him to stay on that pitch, go the other way, I mean, that's how you hit all these bombs. You're not going to pull everything. Love to see it from Shohei, and love the celebration at the end.
Now we've got Decorte everywhere in the stadium. And then, Jerry, let's now go to May. This was the first portion of the 50-50 bobblehead giveaway. Otani hits 2 home runs, has 6 RBI, and a 19-2 Dodger victory.
You mentioned going the other way. When you have this type of power, it allows you to stay back, trust your hands, and go a little oppo taco there. Outstanding job staying square. And then a pitch down in the middle of the plate, dead center field at night. Line drive homer. Once again, 2 bombs on the night.
Well, it's very clear that when it comes to Shohei Otani and his bobblehead nights, the numbers just don't lie. So for Shohei tonight, he's looking to get things going on the pitching side. Had 2 relatively tough outings for him. David Vassay, let's go back inside. Check in with you on just what you guys are expecting from Shohei Otani in this one today.
Well, Shohei Otani is still looking for his first win as a pitcher with the Dodgers. He's coming off a couple of rough starts, one in Anaheim, the other at Coors Field, where a lot of other pitchers have been made human. And it feels like it's hard to believe that Shohei Otani will have 3 consecutive starts that are below his standards. Dave Roberts talked about Otani kind of finding himself after not pitching for 2 years.
Does the strikeout to walk ratio really good? I think he's just made a couple bad pitches. What to learn? I think that the Denver start was an outlier as far as the altitude. I don't know. I just think that he's still throwing the ball well. He's healthy. I do expect a really good one out of him today.
Do you think that he's still trying to find himself?
I think so, yeah. Given how much he's pitched in the last 2 years, I think it's completely fair that he's trying to find himself and hit his stride.
A lot of the damage in the last 2 have come at the end of the outings. Like, is getting deeper into the games, you think, been a challenge for him, or is that more of a coincidence to you of kind of how those outings have played out?
I don't think it's a coincidence. I think that just with most pitchers, the familiarity, getting the pitch count up a little bit higher, I think, lends itself to advantage hitter. But I'm like I said, I'm expecting him to get through 5, pitch well, and just continue to get better. And, that's kind of why we went through this process of starting him slow, building him up. So the point wasn't August, 28th or 29th. It was, through the postseason and get him locked in. So he's working his way. He's getting there.
I was talking to Dodgers pitching coach Mark Pryor earlier today. He told me that people fail to realize that Otani is so unique, they forget that he's starting every day, being counted on to lead off for the Dodgers. So on normal bullpen days for him, he can't exert a lot as much as other pitchers on certain days during their bullpen sessions to work on certain pitches, to refine certain pitches, because he's playing that night. So it's something of a work in progress, but certainly the Dodgers expect, and so does Shohei, expect to show out tonight on his bobblehead night.
Thank you so much, David. And you are right. Look, when it comes to this player who he exudes excellence, we also have to give grace and understanding that it's going to take time for him to get back where he wants to be after not pitching for a few years. Now, in his last outing, Shohei Otani, as much as the stuff wasn't necessarily there, he had an inning of work in which he gave up 5 consecutive hits, something he doesn't do often, but also was hit in the line drive by a comebacker. Obviously, it was in the flesh. He is all good. But is there just kind of concern with having that and now him looking to get back going today?
I think the leg is a non-issue now. At the time, it was very concerning. It hit him up on the thigh, thankfully, and not the kneecap. You see him hustling. What showed to me and his teammates shows extremely tough, man. He stayed in the ball game, and yes, he did get hit around. But I'm anxious to see him make an adjustment. After that tough outing in Colorado, I expect him to pitch extremely well tonight against a really good Reds team. He's going to make the adjustment. He'll have fastball command and breaking ball command.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the leg is the issue as well. I mean, we've seen him the last few days in the box and looking good with his swings. I really feel like, with Shohei, and with the altitude in Colorado, the breaking balls weren't as sharp. They were leaving out over the middle of the plate. And the Colorado Rockies, they were confident. They were confident in their swings. They were going up there and saying, okay, you're going to throw that breaking ball. We'd rather probably hit that than that 100-mile-an-hour pitch you're throwing, when it's elevated. So tonight I like to see him attack more with the fastball and even more so inside.
Yeah, and of course, 2 outings in which the stuff wasn't there, so hopefully today he can really get back on track. And as we mentioned, with the bobblehead night, we expect the best out of him. We've got more to come. All the fans at tonight's game will receive the second Shohei Otani 50-50 bobblehead of the giveaway series, celebrating Otani's historic 50 home runs and 50 stolen base season from a year ago. Plus, don't look now, but the starting rotation is starting to put things together here in August. We'll take a look at the numbers next. 28 2/3 innings pitched. Blake Snell also has an ERA under 2 and 26 strikeouts in 23 innings of work. Tyler Glasnow has an earned run average of 3.32 this month. Yamamoto has had 1 bad outing against the Angels. That's elevated his ERA just a bit. And Shohei Otani is still working his way back into an everyday pitcher. Not pictured is Emmett Sheehan, who is 3-0 in his 4 August starts. You obviously have so much talent in this group, and even we talked about it at the beginning. Is this the rotation that is just as good as anyone right now in what you're seeing from this group as they prepare for October?
They're getting there. I wouldn't put them as the best rotation because there's some rotations right now that have been doing it all year long. Up in Seattle, they got a great group of starting pitchers. Milwaukee could run out guys, great group of guys. But when healthy and when they're right, yes, you could put this rotation up against anybody, and we are trending upward. So the staff, meaning the front office, Dave Roberts, Mark Pryor, the entire coaching staff, it's going to be kind of tough to figure out who's going to be in that rotation and who goes to the bullpen. And the Sheehan could be a guy that we can use coming out of the bullpen and be a very effective. And then since we have so much depth in the rotation, maybe Shohei Otani goes to the bullpen and some games closes. I know we got Tanner Scott as well, but to allow Shohei Otani to really focus as that leadoff hitter to be a difference maker in our lineup, maybe bring him out of the bullpen in the postseason. That could be a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, I think they give Shohei the chance, right? They start him, this month, next month, and see what happens, right? And I don't hate that idea. Put him in the closer role, taking some of that wear and tear off, and he can give you max effort right there. I do love where the starting rotation is at right now, just because, yeah, they give up some hits sometimes. Yeah, they walk a few guys, but they have the stuff to get out of it. They get guys in scoring position. We've seen the shutdown innings. We've seen Blake Snell come back solid after the rehab stint. And really, those guys, they elevate the fastball. They keep the breaking ball down. So when you get guys in running scoring position, usually with less than 2 outs, hitters are licking their chops. They're saying, I can get a ball elevated to the outfield. I can get a sac fly, or the infield's back. I can hit a ground ball to get these guys in. These guys have the stuff to really dominate the hitters and get weak contact in those positions.
And when it comes to this group, they're getting deeper into the game, which is, of course, allowing for the bullpen to have some time to rest as they prepare for September and, of course, October. Clayton Kershaw yesterday got through 5 innings of work, and as much as he said last night, the stuff was not there. It is always funny when you see a guy, though, have 1 inning. Okay, yes, you give up a hit, a run comes in to score, but after that, it's straight outs.
It's amazing watching Clayton Kershaw. James, we played with Kersh. I faced Kersh when he first got to the big leagues, and I'm like, if this guy has some control, he is going to be a problem. Guess what? He was a problem. He had overpowering stuff. Now we're seeing that evolution. A guy throwing that slider, that breaking ball at 71 miles an hour, and really pitching like an old school Greg Maddux. That has been so fun to see. He still is able to get outs in the big leagues.
Well, I mean, the hitters now, when they're facing hard velocity, it's like 98, 99, right? So then the mid-level guys are usually 94 to 95. Well, Clayton Kershaw's throwing 88 to 90, right? So I'm not going to say it's below hitting speed, but guys are having trouble, hitting that. We saw a hitter last night kind of laughing after striking out on an 88-mile fastball that was up. Yeah, I know Clayton expects so much out of himself, and he knows that, he knows his stuff better than us. But when we're watching him, yeah, maybe the stuff's not always great, but the slider moves just enough inside to get a foul ball where a guy normally may hit the ball out. He's just getting swing and miss a lot, or he's getting weak contact, even though he might not be feeling he's the best out there.
Also, whenever you talk to the guys about Clayton Kershaw, even Max Muncy was sitting down talking with us yesterday, and he was just like, what makes him so special is the ball might be coming at you, and it'll say 88 up on the screen, but it's looking like 95 in how it's just painting, corners, everything. It's perfection, and that's why he's a future Hall of Famer.
So fun to watch. He knows how to pitch. That's the important thing.
That is exactly right. Well, it is Shohei Otani's 50-50 bobblehead night here at Dodger Stadium. Should be a fun one as the Dodgers look to complete the series sweep of the Cincinnati Reds and pick up their 4th straight win.
Sun's out, guns out for Max Muncy. That's a good sign when Muncy's taking batting practice, fielding ground balls at third base. Max, thanks a lot for the time, and happy belated birthday.
Thanks, David. Anything for you?
I was not able to get you a gift this year, but hopefully we could try to make that up later in the season.
Please don't. Please don't.
Max, things are looking pretty good from our vantage point. From yours, do you feel like things are trending in the right direction?
Yeah, we're getting there. We're just trying to be cautious and be careful with everything that we're doing. At this point in the season, we can't really afford to have anything, set me back. So we're just being real slow and real cautious and making sure that everything feels completely normal before we progress to the next steps. And, we'll see what that timeline looks like. But, we're getting close for sure.
Obliques are so tricky. When you're taking batting practice in the cage or on the field, do you feel like mentally you're able to trust it and let loose?
Well, that's one of the things you have to build up. Your first couple of days, you have a real tough mental block about letting it loose, and that's one of the things where you have to have those first couple of days where you're just swinging nice and easy, and you're seeing how it feels, and you're trusting it, and then once you realize that it's healthy, nothing's grabbing, nothing's sore, nothing's pulling, then you start letting it loose more and more, and you mentally start getting over that block. But that's the tough thing with injuries is you always have the mental block when you're first coming back.
Last year, we remember you had an oblique strain as well, and then there was something going on with your rib. Is that the first thing that you thought of when you felt something, and how have you tried to stay away from repeating history from a year ago?
No, this one felt different than last year. And also, thankfully, we went through what we went through last year, so we immediately checked all the things that eventually got me back last year, and everything felt like it was in a good spot. So it's just letting the muscle heal, and sometimes it's a couple of days, sometimes it's a couple of weeks. There's not really any telling, and that's just what we've been doing, is just trying to give it time to heal and see how it feels and progress from there.
When you watch the team the last 3 games in San Diego while you've been away, they talked about having more team at-bats, taking whatever swing you have to the game that night. Do you feel like, from what you've seen and what you've heard in the dugout, the team is starting to do that better?
Yeah, I think you're seeing more compete in the batter's box, and at this point in the year, that's really what you want to see. There's really not going to be much changing your personal numbers at this point in the year, and so it's really what do you have to do to find a way to win the game, and that's what you would hope to see more in the batter's box, and I think you've been seeing that the last couple of games for sure. It's what do I need to do to finish the job at this point? What's the situation calling for? What's this at bat calling for? And you've been seeing a lot of that the last couple of games.
Max, I'll let you go. Thanks a lot for the time, and I will say this for everybody to hear: you don't know what you have until it's gone. And Max Muncy is the epitome of that when it comes to people recognizing the value he has for this team. And look forward to seeing you on the next road trip, like Dave Roberts said. I'll save you some crab cakes, if you know what I mean, in Baltimore.
You can keep them to yourself. That's all right.
There he is, the man, Max Muncy. He is certainly a big part of this team, and good thing he's smiling the way he is. It's not just because he's around me. It's about being close to playing baseball. Right, Muncy? There he goes. Max Muncy has been our guest.
Oh, those two, one of a kind. Look, we heard it from Max. He's trending well. Dave Roberts, as Dave Vassay had just shared with us, is they're hoping that Max Muncy could be returning back to the team on this upcoming road trip. Just how much of a boost is he to the lineup, and how important and how good does it feel knowing that he's trending in the right direction,
It's
Jerry?
such a great thing that have Max Muncy back there fielding ground balls, hitting and working himself back, because we talk about difference makers all the time. Max Muncy has been clutch in the postseason. He's a guy that we want in the middle of the order to draw that walk, have that clutch AB, drive in that key run. So yes, it is vital to have a guy like Max Muncy back in the mix. And I think interview with Dave Vassay just now may have motivated Max Muncy even more to be out there and be ready to go, because when you're on the IL, you got to see Dave Vassay a little bit more. He wants to make sure he's ready to roll and not have these interviews.
I love the Dave Vassay, Max Money interactions. Max with the wry smile, just loving all of it. But I mean, when you have an oblique strain like that, you got to really be careful on defensively. You know, I know offensively, yeah, we're rotating side to side, but defensively, you may have to reach up for a hard line drive. You also may have to go down for a ground ball, right? They might try to bunt on you. They're going to test that. So I think that's really the key for him. You heard him talking about the mental block, having the trust factor of being able to go 100%. Yeah, you might feel good, but you get out there and mentally you're like, you know what? I don't know. I'm not sure. So you got to be able to go out there, have that confidence that you can make those plays. Because as a third baseman, too, you're in the hot corner. You're going to get some hard balls hit at you. You got to be able to go back on the ball. You got to go side to side. So hopefully, he's working all that out right now, and he'll come back soon.
It sounds like he will be starting a rehab assignment soon, and then we'll be saving him some crab cakes, like Vassay said, in Baltimore. But the first pitch is just minutes away. The Dodgers have lost each of Shohei Ohtani's last 4 starts. But a positive note, he does have 22 strikeouts and only 2 walks in that span. We've got more on his matchup against the Reds coming up after the break.
Dodgers and Reds ready to wrap up this 3-game series as soon as Shohei Ohtani's ready to go. Dodgers going for the sweep, 7-0 on Monday, 6-3 on Tuesday, and he came out the back door. A living, breathing bobblehead. Ohtani to the mound, the two-way superstar. Let's meet the lineup for the Reds here for the finale. TJ Friedel's back in there to lead things off in center field. That means Noel V. Marte can move back over to right, where he just transitioned about a month and a half ago. Ellie De La Cruz plays shortstop with Austin Hayes in left field hitting cleanup. Gavin Lux back in the lineup. DHs at first base, Spencer Steer. Jose Trevino does the catching. Key Brian Hayes is at third. And Matt McClain starts at second base and hits 9.
That sinker's been getting hit a lot, but I think that's what pitch he really wants to go out there and use more, just because of some of the movement, but just a matter of the location. See the cutter he occasionally uses, and then that split finger. But for Shohei Ohtani, today we're celebrating the 50-50 bobblehead. And that's all offensive side. By the way, he can pitch too.
Yeah, his offense was so dynamic last year that they made 2 bobblehead nights out of it. And then this is the whole other side of the coin. Ohtani makes his 11th appearance on the mound. And even with the last 2 being rough, 35 strikeouts to just 5 walks overall. He hadn't pitched in 2 years, and the guy's come back. He's cut his walk rate in half. It had always been around league average. It's the 3rd lowest walk rate in the National League coming back from arm surgery.
Listen, a lot of times from coming back from arm surgery, you hear guys talk about it's usually trying to be sharp, there's one thing to have control, which means you're throwing strikes and being in the zone. It's another thing to be able to hit your spots on a consistent basis, to be able to have that command and then maybe have that sharpness. I think the consistency of that is what he's looking for right now.
Let's go over 1-2, and into the breaking pitch. Marte offered, strike 3. Ramon De Jesus, the home plate umpire, taking it into his own hands. I know how much hitters love that. Another 3-2. Ohtani finishes him off, back-footing that slider. All 3 times that he faced him. Swatted the other way. Hayes is there. So it's Padres, you may have seen, already lost today 4-3 in the finale in Seattle. Nasty breaking pitch for a strikeout, and already the 3rd for Otani.
It hit me in front of me. I like how I wasn't able to kind of block that down in front.
Going for a strikeout here with a runner at 3rd, and he gets it by reaching 100 with a perfectly placed elevated fastball. 27th pitch of this inning. Otani rocks and fires and gets out of it. Back to the curveball, which he's riding like never before. 2-2 to De La Cruz. Fastball gets him looking.
I think yesterday, too, you can see that, that one ball that Rojas hit in center field. It kind of, what gets him in trouble on the mound is that sometimes that front shoulder flies open a little bit too soon. And then now your arm's trying to play catch up, and it kind of lags, and it kind of just runs and tails on him.
Strikes him out. Nasty sweeper right there. Sharp break to it. And Otani's got 7 Ks through 3, which is where they'd love to have him going into October. Here's his 2-2 deluxe. A curve gets a swing and a miss, and he's got a season-high 8 strikeouts on a career-high 17 curveball. Sharp base hit from Otani, couple blue hits from Hernandez and Pages, and a golden chance right here. And that opportunity finds Kike Hernandez in his 2nd game off of the injured list.
And one thing Lodolo's done well this year is batting average against with runners in scoring position, limiting opposing teams under 200 in that category.
Number 1 pitcher in the National League since mid-June with a sub-2 ERA, but on the ropes here in the 4th. Hernandez down the line foul. On an 0-1, Kike takes way outside. Count evens up. The 1-1. Strike 2.
Frustrated with yourself.
Ground ball towards the middle and through. Hernandez comes through. Otani's in to tie it. Hernandez in to give him the lead. Kike Hernandez, 2 games, 2 nights where he's made an impact. 2-1 Dodgers.
Front side is closed as a 3rd baseman and focus through that tunnel.
1-2 to McLean. A swing and a miss, and a season-high 9 strikeouts for Otani.